believe that innocent children were killed by Israelites on the command of God. Because historical grace, love of the Old Testament God is expressed in the instances where he commands complete obliteration of entire nations of people, including the women and the children, and even the animals, at multiple points throughout the history.
Your choice in becoming an atheist because you can't justify these actions in the Old Testament, let's just say hypothetically, then you're being inconsistent in the sense that you're assuming that you can objectively determine something being immoral or moral. How do you do that as an atheist? If you're appealing to God, that means you're saying that God is the standard for objective moral values, right? Right. But if God is the standard of moral absolutes, how then can someone say that is morally evil, objectively evil, if it's God telling you that this is the just thing to do for these persistent sinners who don't fear him? But let me give you another example. If Hitler was an infant and you didn't know that he would turn out to be a moral monster, and God ordered him to be slaughtered, you think that was evil, right? He said, by the way, if you read the text, that did not literally happen. It's a misreading of the text, and I'm going to walk you through it. You shall not lie with an animal to defile yourself, nor shall any woman lie with an animal. It is a perversion. This is what they were doing. Now you understand why he even had the animals wiped out? Yeah. Okay. So here's a cow, and that boy right there plowed into the cow, was humping the cow. Now do you want to eat the meat?
No, of course not.
See the wisdom of God? What did I say? If you trust God, let God be God, he'll explain things to you.
Right.
You shall not lie with a man as one does with a woman. Is an abomination?
Yeah.
Now here's another one. You shall not let any of your children to be offered through the fire to Molech, and to profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. So they would take a child. They would have a statue of Molech, and I'll show you a statue, with arms protruding. They would then heat up the arms and scorch the child by placing it on the arms of Molech as a sacrifice to this demon. Okay. Moreover, you shall not have a relation with your neighbor's wife to defile yourself with her, committing adultery. Also, you shall not approach a woman to have relations as long as she's in her menstrual uncleanness. And there's a wisdom behind this too. You shall not have a woman as a rival wife, who's the sister of your other wife. So that means they were doing this. They were marrying sisters. For this is to expose her nakedness while her sister, your other wife, is still alive. You shall not have relations with a woman and her daughter. You understand? These were things they were doing, right? Nor shall you have your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter. For this exposes the woman's nakedness. They are all near relatives. It is depravity. You're telling me God wasn't just? Even if God wiped them all out, he wasn't just? Imagine sin as a cancer. I mean, because the Bible describes sin as a disease. And the cancer is spreading all over the body. Now you have to now do something drastic, and you have to amputate a part of your body, like gangrene, to stop it from spreading and killing the whole body, right?
Right.
And this is what God is doing. He's doing amputation. He's cutting off this spiritual cancer that's spreading and destroying civilizations. Effective. There's a time in which children do not know enough to differentiate between good and evil, and because they don't know, they're not held morally responsible. According to the Bible, if God causes infants to die, because they die in a state of innocence, not having committed any abomination, without having committed sin, and therefore because of the grace of God, they will now live forever in his presence.